Yo guys, today I am with Eros. You
Hello,
have
hello.
both leakers in the same video. And yeah, we are here to leak a little bit of things, but not hosters, since they all have been announced. But we will talk about scrims, about rumors, and what we expect from each team. Hello Eros, how is it in Spain right now?
Hello, guys. End of July here in Spain, like weather is disgusting, especially on Madrid. Like the hot is almost killing me, and it's really early in the morning, 3 p.m. Like I woke up at 1 p.m. So not my best timing, but doing all of this for you guys to keep you informed. Also, like LEC starting on Saturday, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm very hyped for the LEC coming back because I'm not a big fan of international events, especially like MSI and this Esports World Cup. For me is like whatever. I enjoy way more worlds. So I was really hoping for LEC to get back. And I think this split is going to be an insanely close split. So my hype is at the roof.
Yeah, I think that's not a common opinion to prefer LEC than MSI, but I actually prefer LEC too. I think
Yeah.
it's more fun and it's less predictable too, in my opinion. Especially this split, there might be some surprises, but we will talk about it later
Mm-hmm.
because we made a list, guys, to talk about each team one by one. And the first team we want to talk about is NAVI because they are the new team in LEC and they have a lot of changes. So Eros, you can start on this one. Navi, are they shit? Are they good? What do you think?
I think, well, first of all, Navi got a Spanish player, so for me, they are S tier right now. Best team in the world alongside all the teams that have a Spanish member. So, no, like now, no jokes. I think Navi has been doing quite better. I think it was not that hard to do better than the last two splits. I think like they did some interesting moves, like smart moves. They also got Rillage for next year, which was like something really big. We had an interview on a Leo with Tiger where he said like he was not aware of it, but he will give his best. And I think this team, as far as I know, is performing better in scrims than the last two splits, and it's performing better than some of the bottom table teams, let's say. So I think Navi will be there battling up for against all these teams that are not on the top four right now.
Yeah, I also think they will surprise people.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, they are doing quite okay in scrims.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also, you mentioned the Spanish guy. There is a guy from LFL coming in, Handsome
Yeah.
D.
Yeah, I
He's
know.
half French. He's Korean, but he's half French now. And honestly, for those who didn't watch LFL, this guy was 1v9 every game. Like 1v9, like in my opinion, he was more carrying than Kalist was last year. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think Kalist has more potential because I'm not don't screw
Be
me wrong.
careful, be careful. Holy
Yeah,
fuck.
but I think Handsome D was
Yeah.
really 1v9, and I heard in scrims he's doing really well, better than Patrick. Malrang apparently is in his new role of support. He's doing
Mm-hmm.
quite good also, so I think the bot lane will not be too bad. I think Tiger, as you said, okay, maybe you say it because he's Spanish, but I think he can do a good job.
I no, like out of being Spanish, I think Tiger was the best jungler on ERL alongside Village. So Navi got both. Like you can do better. And as you said, like I think Marrang's new role fits him quite well because on his jungler role he was like this initiative jungler with Sejuani, Bai, and all these picks that he liked to engage. So the support role fits him quite well. He has Sandy there, which is Korean also, so he can help on the communication, how they want to play the lane. So for me, I think like it's a roster that for the first split that Navi is in the league makes kinda sense. They are not going over the roof with buyouts and everything, and I hope Like they will, for me, like they have big chances of coming out of groups on the group A, which is the
They
one
have
they
a
are
difficult
below.
group. They have a
Yeah,
difficult group.
like they have the most
Not so
tough
easy.
one, but
Yeah.
my guess, and you can save it for later, is that Navi will be a way better team than Vitality.
Oh, okay. Because yeah. Okay, we'll save it for later. We'll talk about Vitality later. But
Yep.
yeah, I agree. I think Navi can be good. Also, Adam is solid. Larson made the headlines this off season.
Yeah.
Navi had to keep the contract. He accepted to reduce his salary. I think Larson has the skill to be a decent player in LEC. Like 2 3 years ago, he was good, and I think he realizes that if he doesn't perform now, it's maybe his last chance because Navi
Mm-hmm.
they want to be a good team in LEC. They said they want to go towards next year, so they won't hesitate to make those changes if they need to. So I'm hoping this summer we see a motivated Larson, a Larson that's working really hard and performs, and I think this Navy can be scary if this happens. But let's move to the next team. On the list, you have Team BDS, who also made changes and also made headlines talking about money because they bought Bukada from SK Gaming and Rooster from the Tier 2 in Korea. What do you think, Eros?
Well, don't know if you know it, but on Spain, people think I'm a BDS hater, especially a striker one. I will explain you why. I think
Explain.
this BDS of season was terrible. Like spending that much money on a jungler. I understand your point. Like you said on your stream or video that Bocada could go into next off season being free agent, so you can start a bid war or this or that. I don't mind. Like the movement is way out of market. Like the price is way out of market. I think Rooster is going to be really good because he's a player that other LEC teams have scouted. For example, Fnatic and BDS confessed and they got him. But in general, I think, and as far as I know, BDS is not a strong team on scrims. Even more, I would say BDS is one of the worst teams in scrims in LEC. So I expect them to be one of the worst teams of the LEC. For me, they will be between top 8 and top 10.
Oh, okay. I would place them higher, to be honest. Because I heard Rooster is
Yeah,
really
Rooster
good.
is insane, but
He's doing really well. I think scrims don't mean
don't
everything
mean
to him
everything,
anymore.
yeah,
So
but League
yeah,
of Legends is also a team play game. So even though Rooster is insane, you can't win only having like one player who's performing well. That's my thoughts.
one issue with BDS is that Rooster does not speak English. I mean, he's learning,
Mm-hmm.
but he did not speak English before joining. So they are working on a lot of team stuff rather than trying to win scrims. Maybe, at least
Maybe.
that's what I'm hearing. So I I still I still think this team has potential because I think Roster is really an upgrade over Irrelevant, at least from how Irrelevant played this year. Yeah, Bukata, 200,000. I'm not going to lie, it's above market price. Like
It's insane.
it's
It's
the highest buyout.
insane.
It's the highest buyout this off season.
Yep.
But not to say it was a good decision, but to explain why they made it, it's because they tried out Bukada, they tried out Yankos, they tried out Rilek, and they tried Kada a lot of times, and I really thought he was so good. His comms were really good. He plays for teams. He's skilled, and I'm not saying they're correct, but BDS think that Bukada really is worth having for next year and
Okay.
this split. So
Like,
they wanted to to pay the bag and be sure to have him. And maybe it's a misplay, like BDS have made best roster decisions, I think, last year. Otherwise, they would not make changes right now. So maybe they made
mhm.
bad decisions again. So yeah, I'm curious to see, but I think this team has potential. Personally, I see them more around 6. I'm
You know,
ambitious than
something
ambitious
I
than them.
really think about BDS right now is that they have a lot of pressure on you because, as you said, like you have the biggest buyout of the off season, which is Bocada. you're changing two roles. These changes should be to attend worlds. Like that should be the BDS goal. Like if you don't make two worlds, for me, it's a failure of the project because you're spending even more money than you spent uh, at the beginning of the
They
year.
did pay the contracts for next year too. So it's not just for. But you're right. You're right. Also,
Yeah,
Striker.
but you can make those changes
Mhm.
on the end of the year. If you make them now, it's because you want to attend worlds, 100%.
Or to seek because maybe they are scared that next off season Rooster can go to LCK. Maybe they are scared Bukada can go to other LEC teams. So I think that's why they secure them now. Not just to go worlds, but
Okay.
to have them safe for next year. I think that's the logic. But um, I will say like to end on BDS, Striker did say on Twitter, BDS is going to Worlds, and if they don't go to Worlds, he will cancel his contract with BDS. So it will be
Which he
strategy.
has been re-signed, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
till
he
end
resigned.
of 2026, right?
Yeah, it's why he signed. Yeah,
So it's going to be a fun
yeah,
of season for
yeah. It's
BDS.
going to be fun. Yeah, but there's other teams you need to talk about too. Next up is Vitality, who made one change, Flashy.
Yep.
Do you think this will improve Vitality?
Like there is no doubt that Vitality will do way better than last split because Flesh is a natural support and Niski it's not. I don't think they will be a really impressive team. I think it will be like a middle team, mid table team like these last two splits. But what I'm really happy, I would say, about Vitality is that when this last split end, uh, Neo had a stream, if I'm not wrong, where he said that there is no more time for adapting and all this stuff, and that he asked MacPad and Cash to at least be fourth this split, if I'm not wrong, so they can keep the spot next year. If not, Vitality is going through an insane restructure of the project, which I'm very happy, and I feel next year we will see a whole new Vitality because this one will be like seventh.
Yeah, but um, I think the issue with Vitality is that too often in the past splits they have happy games, where they int,
Yeah,
they have a bit of too much fun, I think, and just die left and right. Um, it doesn't mean much, but since we talk about Scrim, we cannot say it means nothing. I do think in the NNO Cup that they recently won, they were the only LEC team with SK Gaming, so it was not a hard win.
yeah,
It was not a difficult tournament to
but
win.
they
They
play
were
nice.
strong, but they won 3-0. Both SK and BK Rock. It's not that easy to 3-0 a team
Yeah,
two times, and but it's not the score I'm talking about. Is that they were throwing and inting not that much. So if they can keep this trend going into LEC and play more clean, better macro, okay, you go to inhib, you take to inhib, you go back instead of trying to take a random kill. Maybe they can be a cleaner team and surprise, I think. And yeah, maybe with Flashy, they will have more stability in the bot lane. Mhm.
my problem with this team before like moving to the next one is that Vitality needs to keep Nagnako by any means. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
needs
yeah,
to
yeah.
sign a new contract, even though he has like 3 year contract.
Oh, bro,
He needs
Nagnako is going to G2. He's going to Fnatic, man.
Yeah, Nagnako needs to like Vitality needs to keep Nagnako by any means because it has to be the franchise player. Like Kid is insane, and this is not a roster to keep Nagnako. Like you need to
Yeah,
show the guy that you can provide him a roster where he could fight for top spots, go to worlds, everything, and you need to provide that. And Neo has been quite clear, like you cannot waste 3 years of Nanako with these rosters, and that's the reality. And I feel like this roster can't achieve what Nanako expectations are. So I really hope, I really hope next year for Vitality will be like a reset one and a way better roster, because I feel like this one has hit like their maximum level, like they are the roof, and that that level is not to get on the top four. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Let's talk about the next team.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Another team that made changes. SK Gaming, the German organization of the LEC. I see you are super excited about them. They replaced Genax with Dun Dun, Korean top laner from TCL. They sold Bukada to get skins, who also played in TCL actually.
Mm-hmm.
And in the mid lane, they got Abedaga, who just finished last place in NA. What do you think, Eros?
I think this roster is terrible. Last place, like way, way, way ahead of the rest of the teams. And this is one of the teams that whenever they are playing, I feel like I can take a nap and I won't miss anything, you know? Whenever like SK is on a BO3, BO5, I think like that's the perfect time for siesta, yeah. And yeah, for me it's going to be a really, really, really rough split for SK. As far as I know, they are the worst team on LEC screaming
Yeah, I
by
heard so.
far.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 1 month and a half, 2 months full of nightmares for owner and company.
Yeah, it will be difficult. Not gonna lie, I don't have much else to say. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I like
terrible.
the top laner Don Don. I don't think it's too bad. Fun fact, he played. He often plays 1v1s with Kana to improve each other. I think skins had a great split in ERLs. I'm not a fan of Abedaga for LEC anymore. Just on paper, the roster is weaker than other
Yeah,
ones, and they made so many changes that they need to start from scratch, and they don't have time to do that. So yeah, easy prediction, last place.
yeah.
There's
I,
always
I
this.
can bet like
Mhm.
I can bet my arm, like my left arm, that
Oh,
SK
I will
is
not.
going to
There
be.
is there is always this chance that one team mental booms and SK will not
Yeah,
finish last place, but on paper they are last place.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And then the biggest team that made changes, only team from the top four that made one change, but they tried a little bit more.
Yeah, they tried a
Uh,
lot more.
yeah, they tried a little bit, a lot more. But
Yep,
um, yeah, it's Fnatic. You guys guessed it. Eros guessed it. They brought in Poby into mid lane after saying they would consider changes in top jungle and mid. It's the mid lane they chose to change. They brought the former academy mid laner of T1. He is 19 years old. It was not unexpected news, but
yeah.
it made a lot
I
of
was not
impact for
expecting
Ship
it.
Esports. It was a really big report for Ship Esports, so we are not unhappy. But are we happy about this change? Will it be good for Europe? That's another question.
I think like on a Leo also we had an interview with Grabs, which I'm really surprised by his Spanish. I know I think his mother is Mexican or something like that, but he surprised me because his Spanish is quite clean. So based on what Grabs said, which is basically that the relationship between players was broken, and after losing to G2 in the first split and KC in the second one, he knew that the team couldn't get better. Like that was the best out of the team, because there was no trust anymore in the team, in the members. They also, like he said that in game, Marek, which is humanoid, was like tough to handle. The relationship between humanoid and Razork in game was quite bad, and in the end, like he said to Fnatic that they need to do at least one change because the team won't get to win the split or worse at least. So that's why they made the decision. I feel like Fnatic. did a smart choice based on the market that's right now. As far as I know, Bobby is a really good mid laner in scrims, uh, on laning phase at least. I think it happens a bit like the same thing as Rooster, that he needs to adapt to the team and all this stuff. I know that Bobby talks way better English than Fnatic expected, so and he's like a guy that proposes a lot of stuff and gives a lot his opinion to the coaching staff and how he wants to play the game or how he saw the game. So I'm really hyped about that, and I think that based on what Grab said, how scrims are going and everything, Fnatic should be weaker at the beginning, but has way more potential than the last two splits.
Mm. Personally, I don't think Poppy is that strong as a mid laner. Based on what I heard, I do think he's maybe a good addition because I think Fnatic need to get motivation and to get, Grabs also said on his own stream that some players are not putting the effort,
Yeah,
and South
they need
Korean
to feel
players,
that they need to feel that
yeah,
they will to play on Fnatic. Like when we ask Grabs what changes like he feels uh, he added this split, the first thing he said to us is that now when he joins the office, when he goes to the office and everything, he feels that the team come to the office to play League of Legends. Like they're motivated to play League of Legends, which the last two split that
yeah,
feeling was not there. So
yeah. I think
just by
that's a good
doing one
addition of
change, it's
Poppy.
is really important.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think Poppy will bring a lot of good work ethic to Fnatic, which is what they
Mm-hmm.
need. So yeah, maybe it will work out for them. I don't know if it will be enough. I don't know if Obi will be able to hold its own against the best LEC mid laners. We also know that Fnatic offered Wonder a place to share with Oscarinin. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't happen, so we'll have to see if Oscarinin manages to step up. I think next year will be once again a topic for Fnatic end of season
For sure.
unless they really pull it off this summer. So yeah, really curious how they do and if they can go to Worlds, which is really what Fnatic
I think
always
it's the end goal
look
for
for.
Fnatic, right?
Yeah.
Like they
If
haven't
they
missed
don't go to
ever
Worlds,
Worlds. Yeah, if they go to Worlds, Fnatic will be going through a really intense off season,
yeah,
100%.
yeah, definitely,
But
definitely.
my feelings is that Fnatic will get to Worlds and there will be some small changes for sure. Like also Grabs told us that they still need to work into some things about stuff that they should be adding and everything. So yeah, I hope the best for them.
Yeah. And then we have one more team that did kinda a change. Um, um, they added Niski as substitute mid laner, so do we consider a sort of roster change? Not per se, because they said it's not a six-man roster, but Eros, why did they do this change then?
To be honest, I don't know. Uh, as far as I know, Casey is not doing that well on scrims referred to last two splits where they were more dominant. Especially, I know, for example, Casey was always one step ahead of Fnatic. For example, if Fnatic was the champion of scrims, like the scrims cup, everything, uh, Casey will be their kryptonite. They will always lose to them. So I don't know what's happening. As Casey is a French team, I think Wooloo knows more, so he can tell us about it.
Actually, I don't know much more about this decision, to be honest, because I don't think Niski is there to challenge Vladi for the
Mm-hmm.
starting spot. I think he's there to help Vladi step up, by teaching him some things and maybe add some little bit of motivation and new dynamic to the team, following the disappointment they had last split of not going to MSI.
Yep.
Um, and I also think KC would not sign a second mid laner if Niski was not available. I think they did it because it's Niski, because they are close
Yeah.
with him, because he has this experience, this he also known to have this play style where he played for the team, so maybe he can teach about those things for Vladi. So I think they just took the opportunity with Niski. I don't think they needed to have a sub mid laner for Vladi, but maybe this can help push Vladi a little bit. We'll have to see, but I think it's an interesting choice. And yeah,
You
I'd like
know,
to see when
as an
progress.
off-season,
Mhm.
as an off-season fan, an insider, I would love. This is just my feeling, okay? I would love Vladi to go to free agency or having a
Oh
new
yeah,
team because it will be insane. Like
I would love to see
all
Niski
the
play.
teams,
That would be incredible. That would be
all the
incredible.
teams will be fighting for Vladi, and I think Casey knows that. And dropping Vladi will be an insanely huge mistake. So that's why I think like Niski is not there to
Contract, yeah.
challenge him.
They extended his contract. I don't
Yep,
think they. But he
yep.
did play worse this spring than in winter. I think so. They
Let's
need
see.
to fix that.
Let's see.
But
But Vlad is insane.
Vladi has been playing a lot of solo cuties off season. So yeah, I think he can step up again definitely. And then we have four more teams who did not make changes, but maybe we can go over them quickly, just to talk about their scrims. The first one we have listed is GIANTX, and yeah, I think Eros heard the same as me. They are doing quite well in scrims, if not the best actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that was also the case at the start of the year, Eros
Yep,
and GIANTX did not
yep.
get into this top four. So does it even mean anything this time?
I don't know. I don't want to believe anymore Guillodo because Guillodo is always with this bullshit that he's Scream champion and he tells me they're going to do insanely well always and then they go to stage and they shit themselves. So I don't know what to think, but what is true is that Giant X is playing really, really well on scrims. I have quite some hope on them. It's also like Isma's second split, so maybe it's the time he needed to adapt more to the team. And I think Giant X will be one of those teams that will be challenging the top four spot.
Yeah, yeah, I would list them as one of those teams that can maybe surprise the
Mm-hmm.
top four, but definitely lower on paper. So we'll have to see. And then we have one other Spanish team that actually also clutched playoffs last split. Team Heretics made no changes. They are really going the entire year with the rookie lineup, giving them a chance to develop. Um, yeah, I don't know what you think, Eros, but I'm not, despite no changes, I'm actually not so confident in Heretics. I heard the scrims are not going too well, and
No,
I feel like I think it's good to take players, rookie players who have good attitude and are good teammates, but I think Team Heretics have started to reach a ceiling where some players
are not
maybe not
developing.
good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
You know why this is happening? Because this team is full of French people. I'm
no, no,
telling
no,
you
no, no,
this.
no, 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 no,
I'm
no, no,
telling you this.
no, 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 no,
This
no, no.
team is really bad.
They don't
This
just have
team
French
is
people.
terrible.
I mean,
This team.
you can
No, I
find
can tell
French
you. I can
people.
tell you.
I'm not
Heretics
French.
is
I'm not
one of
French
the
shaming
worst.
them.
One of the worst teams. But you're a
Yeah,
French speaker and
uh,
French personality. For me, Wooloo is French. I don't mind whatever you guys said. Belgian. I don't give a fuck. Wooloo is a French dude, and this team is really bad. You know why? Because it is full of French players. I know the coach is Spanish, and also Flaque is there, but three against two,
maybe it's
we are
because they have too
losing
many
the war.
Spanish. They have too many Spanish, maybe.
No, 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 no. We have too many French people in there, and they're
No,
fucking
no,
us.
Sheo is good.
Now,
Sheo is
Sheo,
really
I
good.
think Sheo is the best player
Sheo is good.
alongside Flacket.
Mhm. Camilo is struggling in mid lane, but
I
it's
think,
difficult. He never played in ERL. He got into LEC. It's
yeah,
difficult.
I think
But
Camilo
maybe he can step up.
maybe can step up. I think that maybe one more year in IRL would be would have been great for him. I'm sad because I'm also like I feel the same as you that this team has reached their top and the scrims are going really bad. I still think they can get out of group because their group is really easy. They have SK on their group, BDS, and themselves, so it's not that rough to get out, knowing that BDS and SK are not doing that good on scrims. So I think this is like this split will also be a really important split for Heretics to get to know what they will choose to stay or remove
Yeah,
next year, because
yeah.
tracing it's also one of those names that we heard a lot on the off season, getting interesting from a lot of LEC
They
teams.
got Mercy 9 in Academy also.
And they got Mercy, which was the second option for Melthet if Jojopin was not joining KOI. So I think it will be an important split for Heretics,
Yeah,
but sadly, I think it's not going to be the best one for them.
yeah. I think they showed some good things. They got playoffs last split, but I think they got playoffs also because a lot of the other teams
Were
mental boom.
trash. Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they
Yeah,
mental boom, and
Vitality was mental
so
boom.
if this summer some teams step up, like we said, Navi could, BDS can. I don't see Heretics being good enough to make the playoffs. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Honestly, the most important point of this summer will be which players will stay on Heretics next year.
Yep. Yep.
Will be really interesting to follow. In any case, guys, we just didn't talk about G2 and KOI. There's not that much to say because they didn't play Scrims recently because they are resting after MSI and Esports World Cup. But I think you would agree, Eros, they will probably stay top teams.
For sure.
Even if it was a bad tournament for Europe at MSI, I think both teams also show that Esports World Cup, they can do something,
Yeah, they
They
were way
there is
better,
they qualify.
especially G2.
Yeah, I think G2 stepped up at the Esports
Yeah.
World Cup, so definitely reaching top four and being one game away from finals. They definitely stepped up, um, and yeah, I still see G2 at the top. Will they be top one? I think they can be challenged again. I think KOI, they showed that them going to MSI was not luck. I think they
Yeah.
showed some good stuff still internationally. So
I think KOI is still the
I think
team
they
to
will
beat.
stay as a top team.
I think for me, KOI will be the team to beat. I think that they showed also on international events that they are the best team that this split Europe could bring. So I'm quite I have a lot of hopes on them. Also, like this new character dropped on League of Legends, so Mirwin will try to play it for sure on top lane.
Nora
Which,
top lane. Yeah,
yeah,
I see.
you know how Mirwin goes, and I think it will be like a solid team. I'm curious how they come from all these international tournaments, the experience they got, what they want to work on. But I'm sure, like G2 and Koi on second week will be like two of the best teams.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll end the show here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Eros, for joining. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you, guys.
This is the first time we do a format with both leakers trying to talk about off season. Let us know in the comments if you think this is interesting. This was more about opinions, discussing scrim rumors, more than roster insights. But we will keep doing this type of content, especially during next off season, giving you a lot more insights and what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, don't hesitate telling us if you liked it. And thank you for watching. I hope it was interesting. I hope you didn't bother the Spanish side of Eros too much. And we hope to see you again, guys.
Have a nice day. Bye bye.